Hope you all are safe and studying well. I, CA Akash Arora from the platform of GM Test Series will guide you about what should be your strategy for the remaining 2 months in SFM paper, how should be your approach in the 1.5 days after you give your FR paper, and lastly, what should be your overall approach and guidance to score an exemption in SFM paper. What I have done right now is I have divided this video in 6 topics, as you can say, or 6 heads over which you will get a guidance to score an exemption in SFM paper. Firstly, what should be the material that you should refer to? Strictly stick to ICI new module first. Second, old course PM. And lastly, RTPs and MTPs of your attempt as well as previous attempt. Well, a good thing over here is the RTPs and MTPs has majority of repeated sums from the old course and the new course module. So there you will save a lot of time. Second, categorization of important topics. What I have done right now is I have categorized the important topics on the basis of their weightage of marks. So what you all can do is you can pause the video and as I say, you can note this down. Do spare me if I'm looking down while saying the list of important topics as I say, you can write it down. Well, the group A, it consists of around 70 to 75 marks and the important topics in this ones are all practical. That is, they will involve solving. Firstly, foreign exchange. Secondly, international financial management. Third, security valuation. Fourth, derivatives. And fifth, mergers and acquisition. So these are the 5 topics in group A which will cover around 70 to 75 marks. Make sure you solve those sums by your hand in a notebook or kind of paper so that you have a good knack about how to present these questions. Second, group B. These are the topics that cover around 30 to 35 marks and these includes practical as well as theory. The practical ones are portfolio management, mutual fund, third, interest rate risk management, and fourth, risk management. And the theory ones in this are securitization and startup finance. So these are the 6 topics in group B. Third, moving to group C, these will cover around 10 to 15 marks. It only has a practical of one topic, that is corporate valuation. And for theory, you need to look into financial planning and corporate strategy, that is your chapter number 1, and security analysis. So these are the categorizations in 3 groups, group A, group B and group C. Make sure you have a good grip over group A then move into group B and group C. Now the third part of this video is evaluation. SFM involves a lot of practical and make sure you evaluate yourself by writing mocks. I can't stretch on the importance of mock because it is just as important as it could be. Write as much mocks as possible. Fourth, what should be your approach in the 1.5 days after you give your FR paper? Let's say you have given your FR paper, you came back home, like it's your paper from 3 to 6 p.m. You came back home, you started studying at 8 p.m. So in over that time, try in the day you write FR paper, try to cover group B as I said in the categorization of topics. So these are pretty light topics such as portfolio management, mutual fund, interest rate risk management and risk management, which you can complete in around 2.5 hours. Secondly, on the day of leave, that is a day before your SFM paper, cover the group A topics which will cover around 70 to 75 marks. And lastly, on the day of SFM paper, cover the group in the morning, cover the group C topics, that is the topics which will fetch you around 10 to 15 marks, and make sure you have certain time, around an hour or so, to revise all the 3 categorizations that you have completed over the course of 1.5 days. Lastly, I will say what should be your approach for paper writing. Well, paper writing in general, the question 1 is compulsory for question, and out of the remaining 5 questions, you will need to attempt 4 questions. So in the reading time, don't look at the question 1, and out of 5 questions, make sure you pick up those questions which you are very comfortable with in the order of preference. And in the first hour or so, write 2 questions which you are very comfortable, and out of 40 in that you are very comfortable that you will score above 35. And lastly, so there are certain tips which I would like to say from my side. Avoid doing silly mistake, and this the importance of silly mistake, you will evaluate yourself while you're writing mocks. There is a habit, like while we do SFM paper, a lot of things we do over the calci and we are unaware how to present the answer in the paper. So as you write mock, you will get a knack of how to write the paper and how to present your answer, and make sure you have ample time, around 5 to 10 minutes just before the submission of paper, so that you can run through it and see whether you have made any silly mistakes and correct it. Second, there is a general trend from the November 20, the Jan 21 examination cycles that were there. ICI is asking more of conceptual questions, so make sure your concepts are crystal clear in SFM paper. And lastly, for theory topics, there are specific 4 chapters of theory. These are the Start of Finance, chapter number 14, Securitization, chapter number 6, chapter number 2, Your Risk Management, and chapter number 1, Financial Policy and Corporate Strategy. Make sure you know these topics at the tip of their tongue, because these are the topics from where maximum theory questions will be asked. And for rest of the theory questions, make sure that you have just read them and you have some idea about it, so that you can write them when a question appears. Then that's all that I could provide from my end. Thank you so much.